Bye. Grandma, hey. Where's Tom? I want to talk to him.
Oh, on the stairway to heaven with Brooke. Figuratively speaking, they're on their way to Sydney.
Really? Since when?
About an hour ago. They're promoting Taboo, men's and the women's line.
Just the two of them?
Mm-hmm.
I give up.
No, you don't. You don't give up.
You're right. No, I don't.
Hey, do you ever, I don't know, give up on anything?
I gave up on my marriage once or twice.
Well, then, did you ever have an affair?
When I was married?
I don't know, like, were you ever tempted, or do you ever have any regrets?
Oh, well, there's a big difference between regrets and temptation. Listen, anybody who tells you they've had no regrets hasn't lived a very interesting life.
Well, that's exactly how I feel. You know, why should I be afraid to get my hands dirty?
Well, sweetheart, it depends on what you want to get your hands dirty in.
Oh, that's true. I don't know, I just always thought I was the girl that would never give a married man a second look. God, I was wrong.
You are deliberately trying to sabotage this.
So you think your wife is guilty of emotional violence?
It was an analogy.
An
all right?
analogy. You know why we're here, Bill.
The problem with our relationship is that we're not having one because you left. That's the problem we need to solve. Does that answer your question?
I can't believe that you are laying all of this on me. We're here because of what you did, or what you planned to do. It doesn't really matter because the intention was there, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You're not sleeping with a married man, are you?
Maybe I want to be. Look, I know it's wrong, but it's not as wrong as his marriage.
It's Bill Spencer, isn't it?
Maybe you could describe this incident, if there was one.
I really don't think that's necessary, is it, Katie?
Or the circumstances that led up to Katie feeling, I don't know, what were you feeling? Were you feeling sad, upset, betrayed? Were you feeling unsafe? Was there a reason why you needed to get away to maybe gather your thoughts?
Have you ever felt unsafe with me, ever?
You're really accusing me of emotional violence? Really, Bill?
I have never hurt you. You know that.
Maybe not physically, but you're doing a damn good job of hurting me right now.
Did he make a pass at you?
I wish.
Tell me you don't mean that.
No, he would never do that while he's married, even though his marriage has imploded. Oh, they're separated. Didn't you know?
No, I didn't. Look, they're separated, and then they're separated. She's a very tenacious girl.
Well, Katie only married him so she could show the whole world that a good woman improved him. But strangely enough, Bill is still Bill, and now she forced him to go to therapy.
You seem to know an awful lot about their marital troubles, Missy. Are you the cause of them?
No.
But you know it is.
Yeah.
Are you going to take control of the situation, or should I?
Is that what you feel is called for, right?
What am I paying you for? You're supposed to know how to do something.
Your wife just told you that you've hurt her and that she's hurting right now, so how would you think that someone should take control of the situation?
I would ask my wife if she sees the difference between saying that she is hurting and saying that I hurt her.
That's a fair question. How is Bill responsible for your feelings?
Is it not possible that you're hurting because of something I did that has nothing to do with you or our marriage?
How can you stand there and say that what you did is not affecting me or our marriage? How can
Let's
you say
not go
that?
there, Katie.
Let her talk.
You don't want to apologize for who you are. Well, I'm not asking you to, Bill. I've never asked that of you. I never would. And yes, I knew when I married you that I was not marrying some shrinking violet. Thank God. But you know me. And when I see a problem in our relationship, in anything, I am not one to just shut my mouth and go shopping. That's not who I am. I cannot live with rage and violence in my life. I have no room for it. And when I see these unresolved feelings in you, and when I see what they have driven you to do, it scares me. It scares me for you. It scares me for us. And yes, maybe this is some kind of trigger because of my brother. Fine. Violence and rage killed him. It almost killed me too.
Katie, I know that had to be a very shattering experience for you, and losing your brother.
I still feel so guilty about it because I feel responsible for his death, and I think that the only way that I can try to rectify some of these feelings is by not repeating the same mistakes. And that is why I will not condone or enable violent behavior. I won't do it.
And somehow Bill has done something that's triggered this fear that you have of violence coming into your life again, something that you cannot tolerate.
And he is very much like his father. They're both loners. I'm not going to tell you what's right and wrong because you know that. I'm just going to warn you. Bill is a dangerous man, and you can't see it because your eyes are filled with stars.
Oh, God. Grandma, I know him way too well to even idolize him, all right?
Then you realize that he's very selfish, self-centered, self-involved, and I understand that kind of guy can be very, very charming, great company, until you really need something from them.
But that's the thing. I think I'm more like that than Bill is.
Honey, Bill never does anything without an agenda. Believe me when I tell you this. You have 25% of this company. He controls Donna's 12.5%. Do you think that he hasn't already calculated that all out? Do you think that he hasn't already thought exactly what he can do if he's got you tucked away in his little vest pocket?
We knew Storm was in trouble, and we did nothing. We loved him. Of course, we loved him, but he needed help. If love was enough, he'd still be alive today.
I am not your brother, Katie.
Is there something about Bill that frightens you? Does he own a gun, for
Oh,
example?
I own a gun? Why are you feeding her paranoia?
I don't know if he owns a gun. I've never asked.
I can only reflect back what I'm hearing right now, and I'm hearing that Katie is telling me whenever there's violence that goes unaddressed, it usually leads to tragedy. That's her greatest fear.
Oh, for God's sake, I'm not some suicidal maniac. What difference does it make whether or not I have a gun? Have you ever seen me with a gun? Have I ever shot someone? I'm not a deranged freak. I have a temper. I use some four-letter words. I've had a bar fight or two.
You plotted a murder.
I can't believe you just said that.
Well, if
How
you're gonna
could you
pretend
do
like
that
it's
to me?
nothing.
I have to warn both of you, there are legal implications.
I'm not talking to
What
you.
we're ta-
I asked you a question. How could you be so
How
irresponsible?
can you expect me to be okay with the fact that my husband was planning to kill someone?
Enough, Katie! I truly believe that my son's life was being threatened.
You make it sound like it was an impulse. It wasn't. You got Amber out to that house. You lured her out to the bluff. You were going to push her over the edge.
I take action. That's what I do. That's why you married me, because I am strong enough to do what needs to be done. And now you're using it against me. Accusing me of being dangerous, of being sick.
I'm afraid for you. I'm afraid for us. You say you know what you did was wrong, but you don't seem to feel any remorse
You
whatsoever.
don't know what I feel. That's the problem. Do you? Do you feel remorse, Katie? If this is how you felt, if you were done with me, all you had to do was say so. You didn't have to drag me in here and get me accused of murder, arrested for a felony.
That's not going to happen. Everything we say in here is confidential.
Think again. Taylor is legally obligated. If she knows that a murder is being premeditated, she is legally obligated to report it.
Is that true?
Yes.
Taylor, it's all in the past. It's over and done with. I mean,
No, certainly I don't have to report every time a patient says that they are.
Tell her I'm not a threat to her, Katie.
he's not a threat. He's not a threat. I honestly believe that. I do.
Then what do you want from me?
I want you to deal with these issues. I want you to face this problem the way you face every problem, head on. I need to know that this is not gonna happen again. You act like what you did is something that anyone would do, that is perfectly normal.
If you wanted normal, then you married the wrong guy. It is a hell of a thing to marry a man who you know full well is anything but conventional, and then try and change him. If you wanted a project, Katie, you should have taken up knitting. And if you wanted normal, you should have stuck with Maroney. I'm done.
Bill, please don't walk out on me, please.
Let's be clear on who walked out on whom.
You know, Bill could have me in his pocket right now if he wanted to.
Did you hear nothing I said to you? You really think this marriage is finished?
Bill's marital problems boil down to one thing. He's married to a Logan. Katie is just a younger, less ditzy version of Donna and Brooke. They throw themselves at wealthy men until one tumbles, and then they go into these royalty modes with these impossibly prissy standards they apply to everyone but themselves.
To say that there's a complete lack of self-awareness in that family is an understatement. It's true. And Brooke is the best example. My God, the woman never sees the consequences of her actions. She does what she does and never asks about it until it's too late. I just hope your brother has the good sense to